We set off 20 years ago with this mission to take on the Swiss watch industry. People tend to love an underdog.
What does it feel like to have the last 20 years of your life spread out in front of you? There are some memories on this table.
Peter and I had sold the Early Learning Centre, and I actually believe we're on this earth to be productive. And because I was still in my late 40s, for Christ's sakes, I had a long time to go, and I wasn't ready to lie on a beach for the next 30 years. You know? We wanted to do something. Watches, as I say, we were sort of interested in. There's nothing as universal as time.
I just passed my 50th birthday. So to actually do a startup at 50 is quite unusual. And so the 20 years of Christopher Ward is the longest I and Mike have been in any business.
We'd spent between us more years than I'd care to mention in bricks and mortar retail. Had seen that the future of retail was probably moving towards an online sort of scenario, that's where the growth was going to be. So the starting point was really not what we ended up with. It was, let's think about online.
These were the first two watches that we brought to the world.
Absolutely.
June the 2nd, I think, 2005,
That's
in
right.
our hands.
That's absolutely right.
This is the watch that
Defined us.
defined us in a lot, yeah.
Our mission, which is the same today as it was prior to us moving into a converted chicken shed, to bring high quality premium watches to as many people as possible. And the benefit of our simple model is that you then just multiply the cost price by 3. And that is something still unique in the world of watchmaking today. And I think people appreciated that, and they recognised that this was something that hadn't been done before, and that we were prepared to be very transparent.
And this is 002. Chris actually probably has still got 001.
Yeah, I was always given the thirds.
Yeah.
It didn't happen for a while. I mean, we launched and we'd taken some ads out, and sales were incredibly slow. I mean, you know, who the hell had heard of Christopher Ward?
You don't know what's going to happen next. And actually, I think it's quite liberating.
A guy to whom we owe a great debt of gratitude, really, a guy called Dave Malone. He was an important poster on the world's largest watch forum at the time called Timezone.com. He had seen the ad, the claims that we were making about this C5 Malvern automatic. And his intention was to literally expose us. Dave, again, I mean, to our eternal good fortune, opened the watch up, realised it was a genuine Swiss-made ETA movement. And instead of denigrating us and exposing us as the bad guys, he posted the most incredible piece on timezone.com saying effectively he had discovered the best value mechanical watch the world has ever known.
I mean, you know, they're not bad watches.
They're not bad.
They're not bad watches.
I still like the C5. Yeah.
Over-polished, not much variation, pretty slab-sided.
And a basic movement.
It's the sort of things we criticise other people for. We're actually looking at what we did ourselves.
A guy called Hans van Hoogstraten, a Dutch guy who'd been a Timezone.com member. He said, I'd like to set up a forum called the Christopher Ward Forum. Any problem? No, if you'd really like to do that. And he did. He ran it for 10 years or more. He paid for it entirely himself. And, you know, today we have tens of thousands of members of that forum. And there's a myth, you see, as well about communication. People believe that you couldn't have a close relationship with your customers if you were an online brand. The reality is, if you do it well, and you're open to listening, you can have a much closer relationship, actually, online than you can offline. You know, Peter still today, every day, reads every post on the forum. Whilst our product at the beginning was not as good as our product is now, it was decent product and it was really great value for money. At the end of the day, any business is about the product.
The real change was when we launched the first Trident. We'd done well on some of the early dress watches, but as soon as we launched the Trident, the sales from that were many more multiples of the earlier models. Then I think we knew we were on the way.
And we were really pushing boundaries when we were starting the business. This represents us becoming in many ways, a proper watchmaker for me.
And this is the start of the JJ calibers.
Johannes created the most accurate jumping hour ever. We did this gold plate version, the only ever prototype of this watch.
Yeah.
And a number of people have tried to lever it off me, including
Your builder.
our builder. It was an absolute masterpiece of simple mechanics delivering an exceptional result. So we started getting orders from all over the place, and the love that these people started bestowing on what we were trying to do as a brand, even though we were, if I'm absolutely honest, in those early days, today we wouldn't give ourselves much more than 3 out of 10 for, but they could see that we were trying to do something very, very different.
And so I think the journey's really been about evolving the brand, evolving the ranges, and then having the partnership with Switzerland back in 2014. And that gave us another lifeblood of a generation of watchmaking expertise, which we're starting to see the light of more and more every release now.
Yeah, SH21, the very first SH21. Wow.
We launched on the world our own movement at a time when even some of the big brands genuinely didn't have their own movements.
A movement, to really be a reliable movement over years, needs to have space in it. So we created this movement both in a modular way so we could build onto it.
This watch was a prequel to ultimately the Bel Canto.
Well, absolutely. FS01 is a direct descendant of this watch, with the mere addition of 60 additional parts. So
Yes.
say hello to your father. Now, for a little old brand like Christopher Ward, and we were very small, to be even thinking about doing that sort of thing is quite remarkable, it seems to me. Probably the worst moment was March the 23rd, 2020.
I must give the British people a very simple instruction. You must stay at home.
I remember thinking, this could be the end of this business.
When you don't know what's going to happen, you can't use analysis. You have to use what you've got inside you.
That was a seminal moment, really, for the brand in many ways, because at the time when everybody else was retrenching, we decided to go on the front foot. In April of that year, there was only 2 people in the UK making new TV ads. There was Christopher Ward and the British government. It's because the people in the business, the people associated with the business, were brave enough to take hold of the situation and turn it in our favour. Ultimately, it's people, I suppose, who make a business, and we're very lucky to have the people we've got. And to some extent, I think it's fair to say we sort of haven't looked back since then.
We're relatively small still in a very, very, very big market.
The Bel Canto changed a lot for us. I mean, we were doing well, and then this little beauty came along and put the afterburners on, really, for the brand.
I think you have it's a roller coaster, and we've been on the up since that moment in quite a big way.
I think it's got real potential to be a very big brand. We'll have grown by over 80% in the last year. We're forecasting to grow by another 80% in the 2024-25 year. Why can't that continue? It's a big, big world. And I think one of the extra achievements, which is going to give us even greater pride, is we are committed to contributing 2% of our sales to charity or relevant non-profit organisations.
The energy in the business right now is at the highest level probably it's ever been, which is quite remarkable 20 years in to be saying that. I believe we have one of, if not the best young new product development team in the world of watches. You know, we're trying to build something here that stands the test of time, if you'll forgive the pun.
But the organisation has to outlive us, and that will probably be the biggest achievement if we can get that in place.
It's a generational thing that we're after. We're wanting to create something that will last a long time. We've put down, I believe, very solid roots in this business. We've got some work to do yet because there's exciting times ahead.
We've only just begun. Cue the carpenters.